And it's up to you if you want to draw this in different documents, or if you want to draw it in one document. That's up to you. Now I'm going to come over from that 80-inch mark, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to start working on the side view. Now, a gun cabinet doesn't really need to be very deep, so I think I'm going to go about 16 inches on the top, and I'm going to come down 55 and an eighth. And I'm going to come back over 16 inches and draw that up. Now I have this top on here, and it's going to have an 1.5 inch overhang, 1.5, and it was 7/8 tall. And it's coming back to there. And so now I'm going to come down the same height as over here. Now it looks like that's 24 inches, 24. Whoops, that didn't go in right. So let's go 24. Enter. And now I'm going to bring this one out a little bit further. I'm going to go 20 on this, I think. And I'm going to come back up 24 and back over. And so I think that just gives a little bit dimension. Now I do need to take this top line right here, and I want to move it out to this point plus 1.5 inches. Whoops. So that was 16. That's 4. So I'm going to move it 5.5. And that gives me my 1.5 inch overhang. And just to make sure I've got this right, it looks a little bit of a big overhang. I've got 3 inches, so I'm 1.5 inches too far. So I'm going to grab this front line and move it back 1.5 inches, 1.5. My dimension is cropped in there, so I need to move that out so we can see it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start drawing our face frame on here. So I'm going to come back, and the face frame should be 7/8 of an inch back. So 7/8 of an inch back, and I'm going to draw that line all the way to the bottom here. That represents the face frame glued onto the plywood box. And I'm going to come the same here, 0.875, and find that line and draw that down. All right. Now we're going to put the crown molding on. If you remember, the crown molding came down 1 inch. And from that 1 inch, we went up 3 inches to represent the crown molding. Oops, I want to come up here 2 inches and connect those dots. And then I'm going to come out 3, and back should actually come to there. And then I can draw that line down from there to there. There we go. So I'm not going to delete the top part of my cabinet this time, so we have something to measure to. I'm just going to erase that little notch of the crown molding. So now that my crown molding is done, I'm going to come down here to the base, and we're going to draw the base trim on, and we're going to come out 7/8 and up 3. Make sure we're getting that blue or that green line there. Now this time I am going to delete these little lines that come through here because this piece goes that direction. Now the side view is pretty simple compared to the front view and all that detail. So now we just need to take our bucket tool and fill in the main pieces of plywood and grain of our trim and stuff. And then just like before, we're going to dimension how big is the crown molding, how big is the trim, how tall is the trim, how tall is the back piece, or the bottom piece, how tall is the top piece, and how big is the plywood piece here without the face frame and without the face frame on the bottom. Now you may want to actually include the face frame just so you have a general idea of how big the whole project is without and with the face frame. That's up to you. Okay, so that's all labeled. We should label, or that's all dimension. We should label that this is face frame 1 and this is face frame 2. And so there is our side view completed.